Look at this. If you in the ceiling. All right. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. Today's session, the plan stays the same. 3 major pillars of success, right, that anybody needs when trading in the markets, right? Pillar number 1, that is risk management. Without proper risk management, you're going to fail. It might not fail today, tomorrow, or the next day, but in a week or two when something goes wrong, it's not going to be too good, right? The second pillar is the consistency pillar. With consistency, you take the same pattern and setup over and over and over again. And the third pillar is picking your trading vehicle so that you have a plan coming into the market, right? For me, inside of our team, I designed a Swing Master Pro. On the day trading and swing trading side, it has multiple trading vehicles. But coming in and understanding and mastering one of those vehicles, that's crucial, right? So when someone comes in, we put them on a plan. They can follow that plan, and then month 2 comes, and we'll put them on something else. They could add to it, or they could stay exactly where they're at. So, but anyway, do me a favor real quick. If you guys are watching this live stream, just put in the comments where you're watching from. I like to see where everybody's at. Me, I'll start Hershey, Pennsylvania. The purpose of today's session is to show you how we're able to take the same setup and patterns over and over and over again using the same tools. So in today's session, I'm going to show you how we day trade using Swing Master Pro and Profit Pivots AI, and then I'm going to show you how we can invest for the long haul. So it doesn't really matter what you're trying to do or accomplish as a trader. What matters is you come in and you stay disciplined and trade your plan over and over. So with that being said, let's dive right in right here. If you are watching this recording and you do want to live trade, just comment me or Beast Mode in the chats, and we will get you squared away what you need to do. So today, I trade options, stock options, and I trade futures on the day trading side. So ES futures and SPY, they are in sync. You could trade them together if you'd like. However, some people just trade options and other people just trade futures, you know. So I'm going to look at this futures chart and why I called certain trades out today and how I was able to make $855, the same pattern, same setups over and over and over again. I just don't know when it's going to happen or which way it's going to happen, but either way, I am prepared. So first things first, this chart right here, where the star's at, this is ES, the S&P 500 futures asset, right? What I do is I come in here and I see my 2-minute and 5-minute are in sync. So I take my trades off, as you can see, the 2-minute, right? Real simple rules. We wait for price to hit a pivot, and whatever color the candles are, that is the direction that we are taking that trade in sync, right? Coming into today, what colors are candles? Right here. They are red. So I'm looking to take a breakdown. Then we transition from red to green, right? On this candle, I was looking for a breakdown right there. Never happened. So I simply don't take the trade. Then the candle turns green. I needed to hit this pivot right here. We just came shy of it, so I'm still waiting patiently. Then we go from green to red right here, and we actually hit this pivot. So I said, all right, team, if we break this level right here, I'm going to take some puts or sells, right, on the future side. And guess what happened? Boom, this move right here, that right there is you're able to get almost $500 for every one contract. You know what we say? Cheers, right? So I got iced coffee in there. We say one trade a day could keep the job away. If you can come in and get 1 or 2 trades and you are good, right, then why continue to trade, you know? But that's just my opinion. So I'm going to show you why, like I said, in the first 30 minutes to an hour, realistically 30 minutes, how we did it today. So then we came up here, and this pivot, this candle hit that pivot, so I want to take another trade. So the first trade right there was a win. That was $500. Could you have gotten $100 or $200 from there? Absolutely. So you're 1-0. Then this next pivot trade broke down right here, And this is able to get, that's 5 ES points right there. That's $250. Could you have gotten $100 or $200 again? Yup, there's another winner. Then we came back on up here. Our candles turn from red to green. We hit this pivot. I'm looking for a breakout right there. Never happens. Then the candles change again. We called a breakdown off this pivot right here. Once again, guess what happened? There's another 100 to 200 bucks very easily and sustainable, right? And you can do this over and over and over again. All right. So there's your third winner. Now our candles turn green. We could take a breakout right there. Here's our stop out. And as price floats up, there's another winner. I was done trading by 10:30. So I was able to capture these two winners right there on ES. Coming down here to NASDAQ futures. Now we're down here in the bottom right-hand corner, right? Check this out. We came into the market. Our candles are red. First bar is green. Our bar went from red to green. Then we went from green to red. I said, all right, guys, NQ breaks this. I'm taking a put trade. Bam. There, right there, I was able to capture. There's 20 NQ points. I got 10. I'm green. That was my first winning trade. Then we came back up, hit this pivot. I went to break down there. Then I moved my entry up right here. I called the put trade again with the stop out right here. Real tight stop. And guess what? Bam! This was a grand slammer right there. I was able to capture about 25 or 30 NQ points. At that point, I could have been totally done for the day. So then what happened is we had another pivot, and some people missed this trade. They took a put trade down right there. They were happy. Price came up, and we called our third pivot trade right here. I don't know how it happened so far so fast. This thing went boop real fast, and there was our third winning trade for me. So there was 3 winning trades on NQ, and I am done for the day. Had you have kept trading, you could have taken a put breakdown right there. You could have taken another short entry right there, and you could have taken a long entry right here, and it's still kind of playing out. So that's how we navigated NQ today. Once again, I try to be done by 10:30 at the latest. I try to trade for 30 minutes a day, trade the open. Everybody says the open is the scam. But hey, I'm going to show you that we do this every single day, right? So you said, how do I join? Hey, just put a comment in the box, and we'll send you some information you can look over, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. So back on the future side, right here, you have CL, right? Candles went from green to red. Here was one of our pivot levels, and this thing ended up breaking right down there, right out the gate. We took some shorts, and we were happy. So that was a very good trade. Unfortunately, I got stopped out on this little pullback, and we had one person actually capture a little bit more. But had you have held it all the way down there, that's like 600 bucks one CL contract. Once again, could you get a piece of that move for $100 or $200? Absolutely you can, right? You see how that works? So when you trade a pattern, you have a plan, you come in and do the same thing that's repeatable over and over and over again. Trading becomes simplified. So for my options traders, right? Check it out. We have Tesla right here. In the morning, the candles were red. I wanted to take a breakdown right here underneath our magnet level of 444.39. I made sure everybody knew that because we were trending down. Swingmaster Pro was red. Then it threw a curveball. Candles went from green right there, right? And then it went from green right there. I took an entry right here, and in 2 minutes, this thing shot up almost $2 on the share side, and that was a great scalp on the options trade, right? If you trade the 5 minute, you wouldn't have gotten that, but you would have gotten this trade right here. The real money trade was a breakdown of this pivot right there on that line, taking a short, or you could have taken it right there. And once again, there's another $2 back to the downside. I recommend trading options on the 5 minute. And then some people, I'm going to put SPY on here for you as well, because some people do trade, they do trade SPY, and on the options, they put on their 5 minute, and this is how you can see the 5 minute chart laying out if you don't like to scalp real quick moves like I do, right? So once again, here you got your call trade. This is enough for a quick 10 to 20% ROI in 10 minutes. Then this bar turns red, you take a put there. Here's another 10 to 30% ROI winner, right? Then you got another break right here. There's in 5 minutes, there's another 10 to 20% ROI winner. And then our last one right here, came down, and it did technically, I guess that didn't hit. You went in a breakdown there, and then we bounced. Nothing happened. Well, this hit our pivot right there. We take a breakout right here, and on the options, that's enough to get you on today's expiration 30 to 50% ROI, right? And maybe even a little bit more. So that was real good. On another chart, we did call out, I'm going to bring up SPX and put it on a 5-minute time frame. I put my levels here when I called things out. Wait for this bad boy to load up here. There it is. So you see where it says AI Lotto Low? This tells me what option strike has a probability to get 50 to 100% ROI. It's built into the code to tell us that contract can do that, right? So with that being said, I use the Lotto High and Low to pick the SPX contract that I like every single day. It is uniquely different. Some days it's at the money, some days it's a little bit out of the money, and some days it's so far out of the money that's absolutely crazy, but it works out. So today's contract, we got loaded up the 6700s and the 6690 strikes for the puts. And then as you can see, if I make this bigger, right, I ended up calling a breakdown. Candles were red, broke down right here, and guess what? This thing fell, and there was our 50 to 100% ROI move. However, when we pushed down here and came back up, it ended up stopping me out. So I ended up getting like 24 or 25% on that trade. But you know what we like to say? Bummer, green bag, right? In the end, on day trading, why people struggle, why 90% of people struggle, and this is my opinion, is because people come in and they shoot for the grand slams over and over and over again. If you come in and trade with us, we're going to focus on the singles and doubles consistently. And to me, that's going to give you a grand slam, and that's what's going to grow your account. So when you take profits consistently and quickly, right, your account grows over time. And that's kind of what we do. So I see you. Kim going to take care of you in the box right there in the chat. Appreciate it. So with that being said, right, I believe that staying consistent and taking that same setup over and over and over again pays the bills and grows the account. You know, I have a saying: I day trade for my job, I swing trade to help grow my account, and I use the profits of both to pay my bills and fund my investment account for my long term. And that kind of piggybacks off your question. Paid subscription, what do I get besides watching your screen? Do you call out ES trades and targets? So every day we go live, I trade the open. I call out my entries when I'm going risk free. So it's up to you to if you mimic me, then you'll be good. But some people they have a little bit more of a risk tolerance, and they let a couple contracts run, and that's totally fine as well. So not only do you get the live trading, you get something that we call our one trade a day strategy, where inside of our private group, you get to ask questions and network with other individuals and share trading ideas, or you can just follow the leader, you know, if you want. So every day, not only do we day trade, we have swing trading strategies and techniques we grow too, because not everybody likes to day trade, or they can't because they might have a job, and that's totally fine. So we have our software you get access to. You get access to our live trade room. You get access to every trade and investment that I'm specifically taking. And then I educate you so that you could do this for yourself, but you can also lean on and link arms with me. So we'll get you squared away. All right, scalping. Anyway, so back to this. How do we invest, right? Well, the SPX is a stock that that mimics, right, the S&P 500. So when I invest, I come into the weekly time frame, right? And not everybody can trade SPX because it's $6,000, and that's kind of why we trade stock options. But from an investing standpoint, check this out, right? Anytime that we get a buy on our chart right here, anytime we get a buy, let me get my here's a buy, 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 here's another buy. Our last buy way back in the day was $2,700. Next buy, and that went up to $2,900. Next buy was $2,800, and it went up to 3,000. Next buy, COVID hit at 2,800, and it ended up going all the way up here to about 4,700. Our next buy was 4,500, and we had to deal with a little bit of a reset or a retracement, and we got another buy right here at 4,000. We got another buy here at 4,400. Another buy here at 5,800. And where are we at right now? 6,700. So if you like slower paced moves or investing, you could actually buy this. And there's ways to take this same trade, only risking a couple $100. Or you could buy fractional shares of this with some of our platforms that we use, right? So I believe having a long-term investment is good, is a great foundation for building your generational wealth. So how this looks, if we go to something smaller, let's just go to SPY, right, which is the ETF of the S&P 500. Let's say we buy a trade right here at 250, and you only have $500. The best time to start was obviously 4.5, 5 years ago. The next best time to start is today. So just hear me out. If you put $500 in on this buy, a high probability setup for a buy, or you can buy a leap option. So instead of risking $500 to $1,000, you can risk $200 to $300 and buy a leap option, right? And this is one of the reasons why I like stock options, because if you bought it here and it goes from 240 and you sell up here, right here, so we can see together, 243, and it goes up to 308. If you bought one share for $243 and it went to 308, right? And that thing, you made roughly about $60, right? So from an ROI standpoint, you might have made 25%. However, if you bought a leap option, you could put in $200, and at this point, if you had, say, 2 years of time, right, there's a potential that your $200 is up 200, 400, 600 bucks. There's a chance that you might be up 100 to 300% ROI, right? So for me, options gives you a great opportunity to invest in the markets using less capital to get higher rewards, you know? And we take these directional calls and puts as well inside of our group, but this specific lesson or recap is just for investing. So say you had $500 and you just wanted to start investing, right? So here, $500, you go up, say 25%, and or 50%. Your $500 might be worth 750, right? And then I will tell you to sell out, bring your $500 back to the side, and now you got $250 in right here. Then your next buy opportunity right there, right? Now you're going to put that 500 back in, so now you have 750, and at 280, this thing pushes up to 450. So that's about, we'll say it's way more than 50%, but we'll just say it's like 50%. So 50% of 750, right, is about what, 375. So now your 750 up here is worth over, we're just going to say 1K. So guess what you could do? You could sell out again, put 500 back on the side, and wait for you to get another buy, right? Then you got a buy again right there. Now you're putting 1K into the trade, right, over time, and now it goes from 360, and now it goes up here to 600, right? And now your 1K is about, we're just going to say 1,500. Well, guess what? Sell out, right? Let 1K back on the side. So now we can erase all this. We have 1K on the side while we have $500 invested in the market. You guys following me? So then you come in here and say, well, I want to diversify and let's go into crypto, right? Well, I got 500 in SPY, but now I got 1K on left in the pot. All right. So say you buy right here at $8. Well, right up here at $16, your 1K is now worth 2K. Sell out. You got 1K back in the pot. Now you got 1K riding. Your next buy is way down here at $8. Now you put another 1K in, so now you have 2K into this pot, right? $8, 16, 24. Now your 2K is worth 4K. Sell out and bring 3K back to the pot now on the side while you have 1K. And as it keeps pushing up, your 1K is now 2K, right? And now you got 4K on the pot. So now you got 4K sitting on the side while you're invested in SPY and you're invested in Ethereum. So you kind of get the gist of that. Then you take another symbol, right? We could just go to, say, XLM. You take another symbol and you look at a buy scenario. Well, now you put $1,000 in here at 40. Well, as it goes up here to 60, there's 50%. Now bring 500 back, right? Or your 1,000 turns into 1,500. Put back your 1,000, so you're back to 4K. Now you got $500 riding for free here. Then you get another buy here at 90, and it hit a high of 120. So these are base hit investments I like to call that you can take high probability. So not only do I day trade, I also swing trade and invest. Well, now you can say, well, how do you swing trade, Brandon? All right, so check it out. I'm going a little bit hitting you on the head today, but it's all good. Let's go here to the daily time frame, right? And this is using Swingmaster Pro AI. We have a proprietary software that we use, right? Let me move our scoreboard. Bless me. So, two different entries you can get. You have a buy entry here for a winner. You have a reset. You have what we call a green candle, green arrow. Here's a buy, price pushes up. Green candle, green arrow, price pushes up. Green candle, green arrow, price pushes up. Green candle, green arrow in a swing trade, price pushes up. Price pushes up. Price pushes up. Price pushes up. Here, you got stopped out for a loss. I'm sorry. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 8 and 1, 9 and 1, 10 and 1, and this is just on SPY. So you have 10 wins and 1 loss. Let's just say the 1 loss gave us negative 50% on the option side, and this is why I like options, because you can risk a small amount, but every single winner gave us at least 25 to 30% ROI, right? Now, I'm a visual guy, so we can bring up our calculator. Where'd it go? It's on the other screen right here. So we have 11 winning trades times 30% equals 330% minus that 50% that we lost on that one loser. You're collectively up 280%, right? That means that if you take $500 on every single trade from this year, May until now, right, your $500 is up 280%. So 500, 1,000, 1,500, almost $2,000. So your $500 is about worth $1,800. So your $500 now turned into $1,800, and this is just on one stock. But you don't have to risk 500. You can risk a smaller amount. With that being said, that is how I trade all 3 phases. That was for you scalping strategy. That is how I trade all 3 phases of the market with a plan, with exactly what you see on the chart and the tools that you see right there. So with that being said, I'm going to come back here, and we do have other software that we have, our scoreboard and our screeners. This takes all the hard work out and tells us what stocks to put on our radar that we can watch. So with that being said, you get access to all of these things inside of our group. But not only that, you get educated, you get to learn it, you get to educate with our evening classes, and we get to execute during the day in our live classes. So with that being said, it is Tuesday. I'm going to cut it. I made some money. I had fun doing it, and let's do it again tomorrow. So if you are watching this on a recording or the live right now, you can just comment in the box beast mode, and we'll circle back with you. And in the future, I might start opening this up if I get enough with enough comments in the box, right? Then what's going to happen is I'm going to leave the stream open starting on Fridays. So if you guys give me enough comments in the box and enough beast modes in the box, I'm going to put the live stream in the box on Fridays so you can see us in live action. And then Monday to Thursday, I'm going to do the recap, and I'll let the software run. So every day we like to do ES and NQ, like I said, and that's how I generated $850 today, or $55, trading the same pattern, same setups on the future side. Lastly, when I cut this off on the recording, I use a prop firm that allows you to use their money to make money. They do daily payouts. You can put the referral code is Brandon717. So it is on the QR code on the intro, the starting soon slide. Take your phone out, get signed up. Once you do that, let me know, and we could rock the markets together. So With that being said, you guys have a blessed one. Catch me on the next one. Beast Mode out.